In later life, have you thought about what you might want to do?
Yeah, I have. Unlike him.
I'm nearly done. 10 years.
Hello and welcome to Fulfilling Your Potential in partnership with our official fulfillment and logistics partner, Huboo, where we discuss the challenges of being a professional footballer and how to overcome them to fulfill your potential. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell button to get all the latest and greatest news from West Ham United. Today I'm at the Academy of Football here in Chadwell Heath, joined by 4 West Ham United footballers, each with different journeys to the top. Today I'll be talking to Amalie Thestrup, Shannon Cooke, Divin Mubama and Aaron Cresswell. Thanks for joining me, guys. Divin, let's start with you. You recently made your debut for West Ham. You've recently just scored your first goal. How did you feel before your debut for the first team? How was it?
To be fair, throughout it I was nervous through the whole game. Stepping onto it, I couldn't really. I tried to take it all in, but I think I stayed in the moment for too long. But now it was a feeling that obviously that I was dreaming as a kid, coming from the academy from 8, and is all I wanted really, just to make my debut. And yeah.
Amalie, where was your debut?
I think my professional debut was at a club back home called Brøndby. So yeah, it's also a couple of years ago, and the game has, I think, evolved a lot, the women's game. So I think mine was also with a bit less fans than yours probably was. But I think it's always a big deal. It's always a big experience because obviously that's what you dream about when you start playing football. So being able to do that is amazing. I think no matter what the setting is, really. One
of the big moments stepping up from youth team football to first team football is joining in with first team training, Divin. And you experienced this just a couple of years ago. So how did it happen for you? When did you find out you were going to train with the first team?
Pre-season. I was in Scotland with the 23s and they were travelling to France. I think their Scotland tour was done and they were travelling to France, and I got told that I was going on the plane back, but I thought I was going back to England. But I think they took it to France, and obviously I was there with Freddie Potts and a couple of the other young lads. That experience was good, to be fair. But I thought
you said, we were chatting before, you weren't nervous at all.
I wasn't nervous.
I'll speak about this because he doesn't know about this, but I remember sitting with Dorse. Me and Dorse had a balcony. It was Evian, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember he training with us for a few days, and I thought, this boy's he's got a big chance here. And you straight away, his standard looked like he just went bang, right, this is the level. I need to be up here, otherwise I'm gonna, be down here, sort of thing. And he was like, I remember the shooting sessions, we were doing like 2v2s, 3v3s, like shooting sessions and stuff. And everything was like, I was thinking, yeah, this boy's got a real chance.
How old were you when you started?
Just playing football normally?
Yeah.
5, I think.
Oh, wow.
Came here at 8.
You came here at 8?
Yeah.
Wow.
Came here at 8, and this is literally all I'm doing.
How good were you? How good are you at 8? Just to get, I can't get my head around how good an 8-year-old can be. Were you better than everyone else at 8?
I don't remember. I remember I was a left back though, Chris.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
A left back.
We're playing 7-a-side.
We're
playing 7-a-side, and obviously we used to play 7-a-side, and we used to play 3-2-1, and I used to play left side with a 3. Just cut it up and down. There's so much energy up and down. But I used to score goals. So.
What are you saying? I don't.
He's coming for your spot.
Yeah. You've always been in these positions?
I was the total opposite. So I started striker when I was 6, 7 or whatever. Well, say striker when you're playing 5-a-sides or whatever. And then I remember signing for Liverpool as a midfielder at 14, I think I was. And then realised I wasn't good enough up top or in the midfield, and then got pushed to left back. So that's where I started. Yeah.
Funny story actually. I got to Arsenal as a winger, and about 3 weeks in, they put me centre back. They said, "How do you feel about that?" I said, "Listen, I just want to play. Put me wherever you think." And they said, "Yeah, you've got attributes as a centre back. Go try it." So I was like, "Okay." So I go in centre back. 3 weeks later, I got called up to England as a centre back. So I thought, what were these other coaches doing me putting on the wing? I clearly didn't have a clue. And I was top goal scorer that year for Arsenal as a centre back.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like scoring goals as well.
And Amalie, you've played all around Europe, and so now you're in the Women's Super League here with West Ham United. What's the standard like? Is it much higher than the other leagues you've played in?
I think in the UK, it's a bit more physical, high speed, high paced, and I think the WSL is right now probably the strongest league in the world, and you can feel that. You can like the quality of the players, the pace in the games, just like physically, but also just on the ball. Everything is a step up from the other leagues I've played in. So I'd definitely say that this is the best league at the moment.
Let's talk about fulfilling your potential, hitting the high points of your career. Divine, I think you've had so far, I mean, it's only a few games in, but many West Ham fans will talk about what a start you've made, and of course getting your first goal. You nearly scored against SBFC. It was an own goal, but then you did the business against Larnaca. I wonder what did it feel like in that moment when that goal went in at the London Stadium, get that knee slide done. What was going through your head?
To be fair, I remember being on the bench, and I was on the bench with Freddie and Levi. I was basically telling him I'm gonna score. But I think if you know me, like that's how I think. Like I was sitting on the bench and when I come, I'm gonna score. And the chance came and I scored. I mean, that feeling was for it to be actually. I think I double checked to check if Delano had his flag up. Nah, that feeling when I scored was something that I love doing and scoring goals and to score in front of the home fans was unbelievable.
Let's talk about after football is finished. Cress, you're closer than most at this table.
Cheers.
Have you got one eye on what you want to do after?
Not on. I haven't a clue. I'll be deadly honest.
No, coach?
Coaching, look, you never know. You know, I remember speaking to Kev Nolan, who played with Kev for a couple of years, and I think a lot of players get to past 30 and say, oh, I don't really want to be a coach. But then even speaking to Nobes and a few of the other boys, it's like that's all you kind of know. Never say never, but I don't know.
So it sounds like you haven't got a plan.
I haven't to be deadly honest. Yeah.
How about you, Amalie? What are you thinking after football's finished?
Well, I finished my master's degree in communications and marketing a year ago, so I think I'll probably use that to do something within that field. I think I would like to do something that has to do with sports. Not necessarily football, but obviously that's what I know as well, so it would be, down my alley, but I'm excited to see what the future brings, but right now it's football and then we'll see what happens later on.
Yeah. Shannon, right now it's football. But what in later life have you thought about what you might want to do?
Yeah, I have, unlike him.
I'm nearly done. 10 years.
Similar to Am, I just graduated in December, so hopefully I can use that in later life. I'd like to be a sport agent. I think especially women, I think, are underrepresented right now, and I think obviously it's on the rise because the women are doing so well at the moment, especially the Lionesses, which is really boosting attendance and exposure. But I think it's difficult to find an agent, and shout out to my agent, he's great, but it's difficult to find an agent who actually has the best interests at heart. I've had a lot of horror stories about they just want your money and they'll trick you into signing things, and I'd love to represent people when I'm older, and I want to be behind them when they're doing excellent and get them these deals and the contracts they want. And I'm a bit persuasive as well, so I reckon I could get them.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was a footballer, I'd sign with you. But what more can be done to support women's football in the UK?
I think it's definitely heading in the right direction, which is amazing. But the more coverage that we get, the more interested that we're going to get. But I think if you can put women on your screens and people can see that the stereotype about women's football is wrong and that we can ball and we're good at what we do, people will be interested, they'll bring their kids. It's a huge family sport. I think keep bringing your kids to the games, keep turning up, because it's almost like a 12th man for us, and it really does help. I mean, you guys could obviously speak on that as well, knowing how much the fans help, and us women need that because it's on the rise. I think there was like 87,000 at Wembley watching the Lionesses recently, which is phenomenal. If you'd have said that 5 years ago, you wouldn't have believed you.
Cress, the women's game has changed tremendously over the course of your career. What have you noticed in terms of the difference?
Yeah, I think it's been a short spell of where it's really kicked on, and rightly so. But when I started playing when I was younger, of course, girls played it, but it's not like it is now. And as the girls were saying, in terms of getting the attendances in order for it to grow, the Lionesses have certainly a big driving force in that. And yeah, it's been brilliant to see it develop over the last 10 years.
For any kids watching here who are thinking about fulfilling their potential in whatever they seek to do, what's your one thing that you've learned from having a career playing football that could perhaps inspire someone younger to go out and achieve whatever they want to achieve?
I think, I know it's an old cliche and everyone goes, oh, but I think just never giving up. I think throughout a football career, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, you will hit lows and you will hit highs. And I think it's not giving up in the lows and thinking, oh, this is not for me. I think if you really want it and you come in every day, you know, you apply yourself the right way. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, just keep doing it, and you know, tomorrow's another day, and just keep sticking at it and never give up.
Thank you for watching Fulfilling Your Potential in partnership with our official fulfillment and logistics partner, Huboo. Don't forget, with hard work and dedication, you too can fulfill your dreams. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell to get the latest news from West Ham United. We'll see you on the next episode.